Good evening and welcome to Backseat Drivers, episode 19, the Felipe Massa edition. Very late change. It was going to be the Jono Webb edition. But yeah, then I'm like, someone Formula One had number 19, and how could I forget Felipe Massa? One of my favourites over the years.
Dave. Let's say I joined F1 because you and I have started an F1 team.
Yes.
And I'm the driver. If we started next year and Rob and I are drivers,
Yes.
How do we pick our numbers?
You from 1 to 99. And then
99?
Yeah, and you can't pick one that's already been used, and I think they hold them for 3 years. So say
0.
no, I think it's 1 to 99.
Okay.
I don't think you can do 0 anymore. And then say if you've been out of the category for 3 years, I'm pretty sure it's 3. It then goes back into the pool. So we've already had a couple. I think Sutil was 99, and now then Giovinazzi was running 99. I think.
Yeah.
So off the top of my head.
So I couldn't take 99.
I think it's available again now.
Rob, good news. We can start our F1 team still.
Yes.
Actually, no, because Giovinazzi ran it until 2021, until last year. So
Can he hand it over to someone if he wants?
Can we buy it off him? If we've got enough money for an F1 team, we've got enough money to buy a number. They're like rego plates, right?
Probably.
Is mine on?
It's not like he's coming back.
That's what I mean. So Rob and I will have 99 and 98 then, I think.
Yeah.
98's available. That was Roberto Mary's number, but he only did a few races in 2015.
So it's available.
Yeah.
And obviously you can't take number 1 because that's going to be taken for a while.
Well, number 1 is reserved for the champion. So,
Ricciardo's got 3 because he wanted 3.
Yeah. So I'm not sure why he picked 3. There was some reason behind it.
Isn't there
and
numbers? I thought a lot of them use their old go-karting numbers.
Yeah. Things like that. I mean, most of them have got some kind of story as to why they're using it.
Rob and I picked 98 and 99 because they were furthest in and we're idiots.
Yeah. I want to be near the back.
Yeah. I would love to be in the F1 at the back because I just hang out with just
who's at the back?
Who's at the back? There'd be Gasly. There'd be Mr. Angry PlayStation Asian man.
Gasly's not that bad.
Gasly's all right.
I think he comes to the back every so often. But there's Angry PlayStation driver, Bond villain, and then the rich Canadians. It's the
Bond villain is one of the rich Canadians, isn't he?
Oh, he's too, actually. So there's only like 3 or 4.
Is that Mr. Eyebrows?
King Latifi.
King Latifi
is the Bond villain, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Very confused. We've got too many names.
keep
track.
We'll keep a list.
I need to start keeping notes.
all the ridiculous names of everything.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of ridiculous names, this is a good kickoff to point 1 for this week. The man who used to be in charge of Jet Force India, Vijay Mallya,
Super Chief himself.
Apparently, as his airline was going down, they were going bankrupt. He transferred $40 million into his children's bank account to keep that money away. Anyway, so he's been found guilty in India over that. So I think it's like 6 months in jail or something. Like a nothing kind of. The only problem is he is stuck in England at the moment. So
if his airline fell over, how's he going to fly home? He doesn't fly coach. He only flies his airline, and until his airline gets back up on the air,
he's stuck. So unfortunately, he's not going to be able to serve his term.
I have some Indian mates. Yeah, he's never coming back. He's been over in England for a while, and every time he answers the phone, he's like, I'm kind of busy. Can't make it.
Can't speak.
I think I've got COVID. I can't fly.
Yeah. Can we do this as a Zoom call? I can definitely chat to you online.
Yeah.
I'll pencil you in for 2032.
I'm surprised, though. It's not like he's in Ecuador or somewhere like that. That I would have thought that England would have had some kind of thing. Yeah.
I don't think England wants to exert any force over India these days.
They've tried that for 4 days. It's not going well.
Okay. So
it's kind of like if you hid from the USA in Vietnam. I can't see America jumping
winning that one.
Yeah. They've looked at the book and went, we've tried this before. This does not go well. You know
Still
what?
not on speaking terms.
You stay in England and we'll definitely try to, get some money from you. But I think he's living there now. He's going to hopefully start a new team. And I
don't think he's got any money to start a team now.
I mean, his kids could start a new team. His kids are rich.
I'm not sure if 40 million really.
That's all you heard about, Dave. Let's be honest. There is a lot more.
Filtering it for many, many years, you reckon?
Yeah. His kids have suddenly trust has opened up, and there's a lot of money. I think he'll be all right.
So, covered that one off. The other, I suppose, the big news continuing this week, other than, of course, the Pukekohe thing that we might get into that. Alex Palou, that's still ongoing.
Yeah.
Rob?
Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe if it does go through, he'll end up racing McLaren Arrows next year, and what's his name? Who's there at the moment? Felix. Felix Rosenquist. He'll probably end up at Formula E.
Yeah,
he'll just get pushed over there.
Well, I think that was the plan always. That was weird. That announcement, how they kind of said, "Oh, he could be in IndyCar, it could be in Formula E." Well, yeah. If you intended for him to be in IndyCar, you would have, said that straight up.
Which one's more prestigious? Riding in, if you were told, Dave, you can ride in Extreme E, Formula E, or IndyCar. There's no seat for you in F1. Which one would you take on the off chance that later on you can get the F1, or as Lee said, a reserve driver? Could you do Indy and be a reserve driver?
Yeah, but it would be harder because there is a lot of clashes.
Yeah.
So, but you can, I mean, the McLaren and that at the moment are kind of sharing a few drivers, I think. So, like, Hulkenberg's kind of available to most of the Mercedes or all of the Mercedes customers teams, I think, if need be.
Is Hulkenberg just a contractor at this point?
Yeah.
Just walks around.
He just
with a sign that says we'll work for.
He's there, and he's like, anyone gets COVID, I'm there.
He's got a big sign. He walks around just going, "We'll work for four-wheel car."
I have a super license.
Yeah. How many people right now not in an F1 that have the super duper license?
Jenson Button still has one.
Really?
Yeah. He was talking about it recently that he still has.
Well, he was saying that he wants to get into an F1 car just for a laugh. I thought they just let him because he's a world champ, and they'd be like, you can just jump in whenever you like. I assume like Webber can just turn up at Red Bull and sort of just kick him off.
Yeah, but Webber's would have expired by now.
Yeah. But would they still let him drive a F1 just for a laugh?
For shits and giggles.
Yeah, if they came down to Melbourne and Webber just was, walking the dog, and he's like, don't worry, honey, I've got this. I'm just going to take it for a hot lap. me and Mr. Ginger Spice go way back. And he goes up and goes, can I just take it for a hot lap? He'll be like, sure. I know how much petrol's in it. Bring it back with the full tank, or I'll charge you for the full tank. Like a higher car.
Yeah. Jensen still has his drawn at home.
Just
that's without an engine, though, isn't it?
It's got an engine, but I don't think it can start, or it takes too much effort to start it.
Because most of them come without an engine.
Yeah, his one's complete. It was the one he raced.
Oh, because that was an early one though. That was like it's not one of these hybrid.
Yeah,
messes.
Yeah, it was V10.
Yeah, V8 era.
Okay, but yeah, he talked about it on a podcast, and he was saying that it's just there's no spare parts for it anymore. So if they take it out and crash it, they're screwed. Everything has to be custom made.
Well, that's why you don't give it to like a Ferrari drive on a Monaco historical weekend. You give it to
you give it to someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you give it to a real F1 driver who won't just slam into the side of something or an inanimate object like that's. I mean, was there anyone else on the track at the time when he decided to test out the crash barrier?
His brakes exploded.
Yeah. In his defense, it was a mechanical failure.
Yeah.
But
don't ruin facts. Don't ruin this story with facts, Dave. It's
sorry.
He plowed it into a wall, and then he had to go and explain it to him. Whoever owned that car.
It's too bad people were filming it. You would have got away with it in the old days.
Yeah. I don't know where car is.
I saw it, but it was totally there.
So, back on track. Who do we think for the Ganassi seat? Because I think it's quite obvious that Palou is not going to be racing for Ganassi, whether he stays there being paid next year. I don't think he's going to be racing.
I don't know. Because a lot of them haven't really signed or re-signed yet, have they?
Yeah, but this is possibly the best seat in the field.
Yeah.
I mean, it won the championship last year. He's third in the championship this year.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of talk about Renus VK, but I don't see it.
No.
With Renus. Like, when Newgarden was with that team, he was something special.
Yeah.
No, D-Dub.
Yes, done it for Patrick.
It's as fun as that would be. We're trying to be serious about this.
Is she still sponsored by GoDaddy? And is she still racing?
No. They did sponsor her though for the last two races.
They sponsored her for a while because it was
a long while because she took that sponsor over to NASCAR with her as well.
Oh, yeah,
but then they pulled the pin. But they did because she did in her final race year, she did the Daytona 500 and the Indy 500, which was sponsored by GoDaddy on both of those occasions.
Yeah.
And that's the last I heard of GoDaddy as well.
Yeah. Isn't Alf Stewart doing the ads for him on the TV?
Oh, yeah. That was ages ago.
I
think that was pre-COVID. He made ads.
I'd have to admit, I don't watch much TV, so that kind
I don't watch a lot of free to air. I don't know what.
I don't watch things with ads.
Except for YouTube. You people watch YouTube.
I watch all the ads on Dave's videos because Dave's videos are really good.
I have YouTube Premium or whatever.
Yes. Yes. We need big names in the e-scooter championship.
That is a big name.
That would be a big get for the e-scooter community.
Can't quite see that one happening.
August. It's that next race.
That's next month.
It is
August.
And I think next month Rob and I are going to be having a scooter race.
Oh, it's in Italy as well.
You're traveling to Italy.
We're traveling to Italy.
So Rob, we're going to have a scooter race where you have to pick up a pizza and bring it back, and you can eat the pizza on the way back.
Yes, I mean,
I was going to say I like that idea. I quite enjoyed the pizza over there.
Yeah. Actually, the two races after that in October and November don't actually have a location yet. We should petition to get it in Melbourne.
I thought they already had the locations sorted.
So did I.
Well,
Is it a bit like
fact checker Boovy's on the case already?
Is he?
For some reason, I was thinking Earnhardt was 8, but that was senior, wasn't it? That was 8.
Oh,
Yeah.
And 8 was probably taken.
Also, he's got a tattoo.
Yeah, Grosjean was number 8.
Oh.
So I was just trying to think because I think they went in championship order for who got to pick the numbers first.
Oh,
In the original, because it only started in 2014 when the new regs came in.
Oh, what was the
and
numbers?
I think well, the previously they ran them in the constructors championship order. So the drivers champion would get number 1, and then quite often say like the previous year Red Bull would have been drivers and constructors champion. So Red Bull 1 and 2, and then say McLaren would have been 3 and 4, Ferrari 5 and 6, down to.
I'm having a look at this now, and 98 was taken. Oh no, 98's good, Rob. We've got 98.
Yeah.
We could do 97 and 96, but not
No one's
8.
ever taken. Yeah,
I'll go 96. It's kind of nice.
Has George Russell got 63 just for marketing purposes of the McLaren, the Mercedes? Isn't there a Mercedes like C63 or something?
Possibly.
I'm not sure on that one.
I would do that if I was him.
I like Red Bull. They got 1 and 11.
Well,
Previously, they had 3 and 33,
Yeah.
and Albon had 23. And I think that was a problem because what's Gasly? 10. Gasly didn't fit in with the 3s.
Yeah.
He plays by his own rules.
That was the problem.
And that's why he's been demoted.
It was all about the number,
Yeah.
nothing about the performance.
Nah. That's why if Rob and I go really, really high number, no one's expecting anything from us.
Yeah. It probably won't be much from us anyway, but it's okay.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Exactly. Oh, that's what I was having a look, Dave. You can buy an old F1 car for like 80 grand, but the only problem is it won't be the same era, so you won't be able to race it, will you?
No.
You can race it in historics.
No.
What one are you getting for 80 grand?
Oh, there was some old one from like, I think Force India had one for like super cheap that the internet was showing me ages ago.
Because you can buy like, this company makes replicas of them. They're almost identical except they don't have a motor or running gear.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's not like I can drive it on the street anyway.
They
don't live in driven.
You can, and it's really good to get away from the cops with. What cop's going to be able to keep up with you?
That's true.
Until you hit the first pothole in the Great Melbourne roads.
I don't know if you checked, Rob, but the roads in Melbourne are not F1 condition.
My last car at the lowest point on it was 40 mil off the ground. The suspension was very, very firm. I think I started losing information from my brain just remembering where every pothole was in Melbourne. Because I had to keep absorbing information of roadworks and road surfaces, and I started losing other vital information. It's so nice to have a car with suspension again.
Yeah. I mean, I like a car that handles, but I'm also getting old. That is actually really distracting. I don't know what the viewers think, but yeah.
I can get rid of it if you want.
Do the bald one.
It scares me.
Yes.
I
didn't even notice that it takes off the beard.
Yeah.
Professor Bert Newton is here. He's come back to answer questions.
Yes.
He'll answer F1 and Moomba questions.
And general moon questions.
All right. So we got France this weekend.
Yes. I would like to talk about the greatest thing at the French F1, Dave.
The trophy?
The trophy. That is the coolest thing ever. Please explain to me why there is a gorilla.
I actually don't know, but they have got those statues of the gorilla at the like around the racetrack.
I've never
There is
noticed that.
statues.
Here we go. Why? Because
You've never noticed the statues.
No, it's a big statue. Yeah.
I'm too like zoned out from all the stripes.
Now we need that. How good is that background? Though?
It is.
That is Paul Ricard.
You do get some amazing photos of it though.
Yeah, but like that
blue stuff everywhere.
It's friction material.
Yeah, it's kind of like sandpaper.
Hmm.
So when the car spins out or whatever, it kind of it grips
That's
and that.
That's when they have motorbikes there, just to wear them right down when they slide across it. Yeah. They slide so fast over it, it just wears them right down so they don't actually have any body left when they hit the wall.
So Dave, there also seems to be in 1993 a Sonic the Hedgehog trophy.
That was for Donington, wasn't it?
I don't know what it's for, but that is incredible. And I think video games should sponsor more races, and PlayStation should sponsor it.
Have a look at the Williams livery from 1993 if you like Sonic. I could probably do the screen share thing.
Yes.
You can probably
how much money is going on Latifi this week?
This is great. Great viewing.
I'll put $10 on him.
$10 to get points.
What would you for a position or?
I would say to get points.
I want to bet on him. There's got to be a way I could bet on him for not coming last at all for the whole season.
I reckon if you went into like a TAB, you could ask them for like a wacky.
He's
going to come last though, isn't he?
He hasn't.
Is that what you're saying, Dave? Are we all going to see it?
No, I mean not come last in any races because he hasn't come last yet in any races.
I think Dave's saying that he will. And I think everyone's now heard it. Dave has just said Latifi will come last by the end of the season.
He'll come last overall, but he's never had a race. He hasn't had a race yet that he's come last in. There's always been someone behind him
that hasn't finished.
Yeah. Or he's placed higher than other people.
So wait, you're saying, Rob, he can still finish 18th, but 2 cars have retired?
Yes. So he hasn't finished last.
I think that's
not
still
last.
Well, if they were on the track,
if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
Rob,
everyone's last.
Latifi is now $10 to retire at the French Open, and he is favourite to retire.
The French Open? Is he playing tennis?
French Grand Prix. I'm calling it the French Open. I'm trying to make it more professional.
Maybe I'm
put $10 on. That's $100. That could buy you many copies of stupid DVDs.
Like our movie review for the week, Trading Paint.
Yeah. Oh, George Carlos and Lando. That's a big call from Booby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. I think Max.
So Max doesn't even get on the podium with Booby.
No, but I think Red Bull should be.
I like Boovy's prediction.
Oh, that would be a great race.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be good. I would like to see George win because it means Lewis didn't. And I know just
yeah.
Well, it'll be because he's missed FP1. Because Nick DeVries gets to drive the car in FP1 this weekend.
How come?
I think they should let I think they should let whoever, if they have someone come in and do FP1 as a practice, they should let them qualify.
That's a very interesting one because some of the teams are probably selling those FP1 sessions.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, what about this? Just like in the, Le Mans 24 hour when you got to run to the car, You have 4 rookies, 150 meters back, shoot a starter's pistol. You got to run across. First person to the car gets to drive FP1.
Nice. I'm in for that.
but make it a bit interesting. Halfway up the race, Dan Ricciardo's there with a giant bouncing ball, and he just smashes you in the face halfway down.
Kicks him off.
You got to dodge it.
No, you got to put 10 pairs of underwear on them and a couple of piercings on them that they've got to take off before they get
a bit further up, Seb's there with the clipboard asking you to sign a petition to save mosquitoes, and you got to get around him as well.
Yeah. Then you got to stop with Hamilton and do some screen printing of T-shirts with slogans.
No, you got to get on the little scooter with what's her name? Angela. He's got to tell you about the vegan lifestyle.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Dave. What's with the floor? Is the floor thing only happening with Mercedes? Really? That's what
Yeah, so apparently Red Bull and Ferrari have been skirting the regulations a bit. They've
that's new. Someone's skirting the F1 rules.
They've been not to the intention of the law, so they've been legal, but it's not the way the rules were intended. So somehow they've been making the floor so it can bend or something. But it all kind of came about because Mercedes didn't design their car properly.
Yeah, isn't that the whole thing that they didn't put the vents on the side or something?
Well, yeah. Their car, it doesn't porpoise, it bounces.
Hamilton ran back to Toto, and he's like, "There's got vents on the side. Why don't we have vents on the side?" Shut up, Lewis. Oh, but Toto, they're making fun of me, and I'm not winning.
Did anyone? I heard this week that Toto came out and said that the racing's boring because Ferrari and Red Bull are so far in front.
Yes.
Yeah, and everyone just came back and went, "That's fucking rich, mate. Back to your castle in the sky." Go back to your nickel.
8 fucking years we had to put up with Mercedes being that far ahead of everybody else. It was no, 2 teams are battling it out. How dare they?
That's boring, Dave, because you won't know who wins. At least when we did it, you knew who won. We'd rock up and win.
Will it be Hamilton, or Hamilton that wins?
Yeah. Or will it be some protest?
Yeah.
And then
he fucked up this week, and unfortunately, the number 2 driver took the win.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like Toto. He is a clown because he's essentially the villain of F1, and I feel like he just says, well, like that, Go Tiffy. Yeah, that's his new nickname.
Go Tiffy.
I think, Go Tiffy. That's brilliant.
Greatest of.
What's wrong with King Latifi?
Nah, Go Tiffy sounds. Because Toto is too far removed from reality. He lives with his pumpernickel sandwich chef or sandwich artist, and he doesn't know how the real world works.
That's the problem, though, I think.
He's delusional?
They kind of don't understand that you can come second kind of thing.
What?
Like, they just...
Dave, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah. But I think they just got so used to, we turn up at the track and we win. And there's nothing else. It's
totally in Game of Thrones. Yeah, I think he just got to that point, Dave, where he sort of just expected to turn up, and he's like, Lewis is here, we're going to win. If anything happens otherwise, I'm just going straight. I'm sending an email straight to anybody.
Actually, funnily enough, I saw an issue because you know how Lewis has now done 300 races.
Yep.
That none of the other drivers have won a race after doing 300 starts. So there's only... Sorry?
That's a good sign.
Yeah. But I found that very interesting because there's about 6 of them.
Yeah, that is the comment of the night. This is why Mr. Ginger Spice is the best. I think if Toto walks out one day with Scary Spice, my respect for him will go up higher. But currently,
Susie's not bad, but
no Ginger Spice.
Yeah,
No ginger.
yeah. Doesn't. That's. Yeah,
I think Toto got a bit of jealousy now that I think about it. Mr. Ginger Spice is a lot cooler, and I think he's a lot more likable.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think everyone likes him, but I think at least he doesn't come off as abrasive.
I think he's rubbed a few people up the wrong way over the years, but I seem to be in trouble.
I saw nothing.
We won't highlight that comment.
No? I mean, I'm not there. Yeah, I think it also helps that, Dave, that Red Bull is a cooler company.
Yeah. Mercedes don't seem to do them. So you either seem to be a fan of them or not a fan.
Yeah,
you don't like teams. I mean, Red Bull seems to be a bit divisive as well. But
I think Red Bull's at least it's more of a wacky, like every so often they'll race a Red Bull F1 car up a street or something.
Yeah, and I think they've got a lot of goodwill from the way they came into the sport and did things a bit differently in that. And now that they have turned into a winning team. So I think it's hard because a lot of the media and that we get is very English biased, which obviously they're very Lewis driven. So it's a bit against kind of the Red Bull thing. It's like Ferrari was always made out to kind of be the baddie. Back in the days.
Marketing department is very clever.
Oh, what they do. They're probably the best marketer for F1 out there.
Yes.
Their marketing for F1 is better than F1's marketing themselves.
F1 does marketing?
Well, Drive to Survive.
I've never seen. Yeah, but that's. I think if you ask someone who did Drive to Survive, people would say Netflix did it. F1 didn't. Yeah, I think Red Bull were a lot more fun with Ricciardo.
Oh yeah. Perez doesn't quite fit that.
No,
he's not a party boy.
That's the thing, and that's what I find very hard that they've picked him outside of the driver program, and then it's not like, say if you got like a Norris or someone like that, at least they've got a bit more that carefree kind of,
I feel like Ricciardo and Norris would be good at Red Bull as a package.
Yeah. Well, they would fit that kind of more that laid back party kind of style of driver.
I think the thing I remember most about Ricciardo and Red Bull is him winning Monaco when he dives into the pool.
Yeah.
I think that's Dan's iconic moment at Red Bull is diving into the pool.
I think if Danny doesn't do well next year, he won't be anywhere.
No. Chances are next year's his last year in Formula One, but he will be there with McLaren next year.
What's the F1 show about Keanu Reeves?
Is this the one they're doing about Braun? The Jensen Buttons.
Brad Pitt was doing one. He's doing an F1 scripted show.
I think there's a movie and a TV show. I thought Danny Rick was doing something with a TV show and Keanu was doing movie.
Yeah, but one of these is about the Braun Championship.
Yeah.
And then Danny Ricks is just him being an idiot or something, I think.
Yeah.
Do like parkour around his house while he's in lockdown or something.
Yeah.
Yep. So Disney and Keanu are doing an F1.
There's going to be lots of movies, I reckon.
Matrix mashup.
Well, no, John Wick mashup. Someone stole his car and he has to go retrieve it.
And they go racing through Las Vegas in Formula One cars.
And he races a horse.
Driven style. While we're talking about it, do we want to get onto the movie of the week?
Because we did all day.
We did actually watch this movie. Yeah. All three of us watched this movie.
Yeah.
And Rob, I have so many questions about this movie.
Do I need to put my movie trivia head on?
Yep.
Now, come on, kids. Gotta put my radio voice on.
You have a face. You look like, what's that radio guy? Ugly Phil. Isn't Tom Cruise already on the F1? He's been on it for years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Tom Cruise has loved F1 since...
well, he actually drove a Red Bull car years ago, like when Red Bull was fairly new. Yeah. Not
Does he get the super
like
license?
It was no. Well, because
Mark Webber can drive one next year in Australia.
He spoke to what's his church? So he spoke to the Scientology gods, and he got a super license, and now he's the best F1 driver ever.
Yeah.
Is that all it takes? I might join Scientology then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could probably
get more money.
I did actually. I saw Top Gun on the weekend. It was actually pretty good.
I still
for all his faults, his movies are pretty good.
Yeah, he is bonkers in life and in his stunts for movies.
Yeah. All right, trading paint.
Trading paint.
Matthew, where do you want to start?
Rob,
bring on the question.
One, did John Travolta owe money to the mob and have to film this movie?
John Travolta is a Scientologist, so he has no money anymore.
Yep.
And he has to do low-budget movies.
Does he have mortgage repayment? Like, have the interest rates risen so much that now he has to take this to make extra repayments?
Well, he does own a house that backs onto an airport.
Yeah, I watched it with my better half, and she had a couple of questions. One, is he doing this to pay for the airline fuel of his Qantas jet?
Yes.
Two, is he aware that he is making this movie?
Yes.
And three, did he watch it once it was made?
No.
Cool.
It's not a plane movie.
What was the budget for this movie? Because it seemed like they just did one take.
$5 New
Zealand. The intention was there, and some of there was heartwarming scenes that just weren't heartwarming.
I'd like to bring up the biggest point. Script, there was no script. Don't lie to these people.
Yeah, but the actual premise of the movie, it wasn't about it was a lot better than probably say Driven's script.
Oh, I don't know, Dave.
But,
at least
the actual story, but there were bits missing. It wasn't executed well. The acting was yes. It probably didn't help that I did watch it sped up.
Oh no, we watched it sitting in between our desk. Rob, one of my questions is, and I must have missed this part.
Yes.
But no one's going to watch this, so I'll spoil it. The end credit scenes where they have the first birthday party for the baby.
Yes.
You know how they have the driver guy has a baby, which is never mentioned, and there is baby.
It was mentioned at the very start when they're arguing.
Yeah, and
and that was it.
Forgotten about.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because at the last race, his partner, wife, girlfriend, whoever she is, was there, and I'm like, they've got no money to make ends meet, but they can afford a sitter all the time while he's racing.
Also, when he wins the race, and he goes, I couldn't have made it without my dad. John Travolta, you're the best. Staying alive, all that. Yeah. Also, forgets to thank the mother of his child. And, then he's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I thank the missus. And I'm like, what about your kid? And then to rub insult to injury, old Stumpy doesn't get invited to the first birthday party. I thought he was family. I thought this followed the Fast and the Furious rule. Family was important.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
John Travolta was almost about to win the championship after 2 races, and then he decided to pull the pin to go buy another race car for his son. But then his son wins 1 race, and they celebrate like they have won a championship. It was just 1 race.
Another question: wasn't the whole deal when the other bloke bought the Mustang or whatever so that he could buy the new race car?
Yeah.
That then he would take on John Travolta because it wouldn't be a proper win if John Travolta wasn't racing against him.
Yes, that's what I heard that too. In the ad-lib script.
Yeah, and then the son is the one who goes on to race him.
Yes.
So that wasn't only me that didn't understand that plot point.
There was holes. There was many holes.
And Dave, like I pointed out before, that even my better half pointed out, when they said the checkered flag has been waved, that means there is 1 lap to go. And she turned to me and said, I don't know much about racing. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. And I said, don't worry, duly noted, Dave and Rob will hear about this.
Don't worry, I put that down in my notes.
Yep. Also, you've got the notes about the being lapped, you get disqualified. Is that
unless there's some wacky rule in this late model thing.
No. Usually.
Also, Dave,
but they did say,
if the kid's just about to be lapped, and he's only got 2 laps left, and he has to lap the entire field. Catch up to, I think he was Mr. White in Reservoir Dogs, catch up to him and then overtake him. He must have been doing about 450,000 kilometers an hour to get around. Well, the track's too small.
If he could go that fast, why didn't he just lap all the guys earlier in the race and get them disqualified?
Fuel consumption.
I think they were saying that because he had spun, he had to get started before they came past.
Yeah, but they said something. If the leader passes him, he gets disqualified.
But I think
that was why it was fun.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact wording, but it was like if he gets lapped, he's disqualified.
There was tension. There was build up.
Yeah,
As
I said, like
start the car day.
The idea wasn't bad, like for the movie. It was just the execution.
It was like they had an idea for the movie, and then they got people who know nothing about motorsport to write it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they got Shania Twain, John Travolta.
Who didn't sing, and she never once said, "Man, I feel like a woman," and I was very disappointed that I never heard that line.
They could have, why not use the soundtrack? I don't think any of the songs were hers.
John Travolta went on 2 dates with her and was already in love.
Were they always dating, or were they just? Because I got the impression they were like neighbors.
That was another like weird thing as well. Like they're just neighbors, and he's like, I've got something to tell you. I'm going to go and buy a car, but I love you, so now I have to go. Like what the fuck? Like who wrote that?
They had the fishing date at the start, which almost seemed like it was their first date.
Also, I'd like to point out, I don't know if this is true, but I sent it to you guys, the piece of trivia where the assistant director and the director of photography spoke to each other in Spanish. One of them didn't understand what the other one said, so they got into a fight, and people had to break them up.
That could explain some things, though, because it's like, bits were fighting, so we didn't film some scenes or something.
Like it was $0 wasted. I feel like they...
I feel like I got my money's worth from it.
I didn't pay for it, and I feel ripped off.
Yeah, I didn't pay for
it. I'm never going to get that 45 minutes back.
That's
right. I watched it sped up.
We had it sitting there at lunchtime. And I got asked questions the entire time. Why are we watching this? Can't we watch something else? Did you know Big Bang Theory is on right now? We could watch a repeat of that.
This is all Rob's fault.
Yeah, and then I said, don't worry, Rob will hear about this later. Also, I think in one of the scenes, Rob, John Travolta gets drunk off 2 shots and stumbles out. Has he turned into a lightweight, or is that just really good acting?
Yes.
And what happened to the guy that kept winning all the? They seem to like change drivers too often.
Well, was that other guy that spun him around? Was he in a third car for that team?
No, that was just a dodgy mate of his. I thought he went up to him and said, "Hey, we're going to get rid of this guy," and then for some reason there was no Max Mosley that came along and said, "Boy, you smashed into a car and almost killed a man. Nah, it's cool. Keep playing.
Just keep, yeah."
It's almost like Toto was his race principal and he could just get away with anything.
Michael, this is not fair.
Toto, this is racing.
The idea, as I said, the execution was just shocking.
Yeah. Also, when they were doing the negotiation of buying the super new car, I would have thought that all the cars had to be a standard, so it didn't matter what car they bought, it would have to follow like a standard. Like you can't, like if you're an F1, you can't just suddenly bolt on 2 turbos, give it bigger wheels and a V12 engine, because you have to follow I'm assuming a stand. Most racing have a standard that you have to follow, right? You can't. It's not just turn up. It's not 24-hour Le Mans where it's just like make whatever you want.
Yeah, I think the idea was though that was because it was a new car and that it was a lot better than the old junky one that they had.
Yeah, I think there's like a specification for the chassis, but there's a bunch of different people who make them.
Yeah,
I guess you got to make
have like different, especially in that you'd have guys, I imagine, bolting the engines together themselves and then having
there we go
proper engine shops.
Engines range from 400 to 430 cubic inches, produce over 800 horsepower.
Also, the track length is it's the same track every week, I think. And it's only 1/6 of a mile.
They would go around to different tracks, but they probably filmed the movie at one track.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have a budget
due to budget constraints.
Yeah.
Well, I'd imagine Shania Twain would command a hefty three-figure salary. And John Travolta, he must be on at least $80 these days.
We've got to pay Shania $900 a week. We're going to wrap this in 2. I did, yeah. Can we have a better movie next week, please?
Well, I think it's your turn, Dave, to pick the movie.
No.
Well, I've still got my list here from last week.
I would say Ford versus Ferrari would be an actual good movie to watch.
Well, I think we go through some of the odd ones first for more fun.
Let's go through. What do we got, Dave?
I've got that Lady Driver down as the third one in the list.
Sweet, I've already watched it. I actually watched it again. I liked it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that it looks like it's quite reasonable. It's along this a similar premise, I think, of Trading Paint, but maybe the execution's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll watch it again.
There we go. We've got a few people.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Well, we should definitely watch it next week. So at least.
I would say Driven is awesome. But
Driven is a lot better than Trading Paint.
I don't think I will ever watch Trading Paint again. Whereas
I don't think
I'll probably watch Driven again at some point.
I think I'll watch it again in a year to mark the anniversary of the last time I watched it.
Put that in your calendar.
Are we allowed to have street racing movies in this as well?
Well, I think there's going to be in about 5 weeks' time.
Yeah,
We'll probably be struggling for actual racing movies. So
yeah,
I can imagine at some point we're going to be watching Fast
Yeah.
and Furious. And then, of course, the next logical step from Fast and Furious is like Star Wars or something. Because basically they're, street races that are in outer space now. So,
Okay.
Well, I was going to suggest Red Line.
Oh, Red Line's pretty good, but Herbie, is that the one with Lindsay Lohan, or are we doing the old school?
I'm going Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan's Fully Loaded, and she's in a movie called Fully Loaded. Yeah.
Buffy wants just Fast and Furious. Which one?
Which one, Boogie? The one where they go to outer space, or the one where they fight the Nazis when they go back in time? Oh no, that's number 11. I just gave away the plot.
That one hasn't been released yet.
Tokyo Drift is my favorite.
Is it because Little Bow Wow's car?
Yes. The whole fist. It's the greatest car ever.
that one's on our list already, CJG.
I think Little Bow Wow's car, and then the rocket ship, and then also, Rob, the greatest line from Fast and the Furious is Tyrese in Too Fast, Too Furious, where he completes the mission to get the cigar for the rich guy and says, "What to eat? We hungry." Because that's just... Because that's his only paycheck, so he has to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember any of the other. The middle ones are just essentially Vin Diesel fighting computer hackers, is it?
Possibly.
I can't even remember.
I can't remember.
It just went off the rails.
Yeah, when they tried to fly to the moon, I just went, they don't care anymore. They just do not care.
They're having a laugh.
I'm surprised they don't just have like a kid playing a bit of Gran Turismo in the background somewhere, and that's the car part of it.
Oh, they do. It's in Fast and the Furious 1. The Asian kids playing.
At least one was about cars.
Yeah. Now remember, he's playing Gran Turismo 2 in his before the drag race, where the woman goes up to Ja Rule and he screams out, "What is it, Monica?"
Monica. And I nearly went and put a screen and a PlayStation in my car after that.
Really?
But I was a young lad who didn't make enough money to do stupid things like that.
Were you about to put a 10-inch screen in?
Maybe a 7-inch back then. Come on, not that rich. I already had the 6 subwoofers. Subwoofer? I can't even remember how many I had. 1. This is how I think this is how me and Dave met, was car audio.
It was.
Yeah.
That's how cool we were.
Oh, yeah. when it wasn't the cars, it was the car audio.
Yeah.
Speaking of audio, we've got an Iowa preview. I've been listening to Slipknot's 2001 album Iowa all week in preparation for the preview.
Because that's what you need to do.
That's definitely what I should have done.
It all makes sense. Well, since though we didn't really have France predictions, I'm going to predict a full Penske podium in Iowa.
Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh.
Going all out.
All
1,
right.
2, 3. They're just going to dominate.
Which way?
Oh, that was my other question, Dave. Sorry to go back to trading paint.
Oh God, I thought we got away from this.
Was the team name meant to sound like Penske? Because I think their other team. I think the villains' team name sort of sounded like Penske or something.
I can't remember what it was. It was Lusky or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very
maybe that was. Yeah.
A subtle dig at. Anyway, 75%. I mean, we're doing better this week then if it's only 75%. Usually it's only about 5% motorsport. Dave loses control, and me and Rob just talk about Slipknot.
I think Normally we get a little bit further in before it goes totally off the rails, but
we got a solid 30 minutes of motorsport talk this week.
Yeah, Dave, we did well this week. You should thank us this week for keeping it together for so long.
we deserve a prize.
Yeah, Rob and I deserve some sort of promotion.
I think it's going to be New Garden and then probably Scotty and Power. I reckon New Garden. Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
Plus, there's 2 races this weekend.
Is it?
Why there
as
2?
well? Yeah, it's a double header.
Oh, I'm gonna go Pato Award and then Power and then Scotty.
I always just have to go Power because the name sounds cool.
Yeah, and he's
of
Aussie.
Course. Yeah, and he's a proper Aussie, unlike that 7th state Scott McLaughlin bloke.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go left field 1 will be Connor Daly.
Yeah, he has not won a race. I was looking him up. Yeah, not since GP3 days, I think.
Did he win in GP3?
I think he won 2 or 3 races, maybe 1 race.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't that bad in GP3 then.
He came 3rd in the championship after getting...
Yeah, well, because him and Newgarden went across together, I think, and then Newgarden only did 1 season and came back.
Yeah,
and Connor stayed for about 3 years, didn't he?
I think he stayed 2 years and then did 1 year of GP2.
Oh, he actually got to GP2.
Yeah, but I don't think he did well there. But GP3, I think he came 3rd.
I think his budget was very limited.
Yeah. And I don't think he's won a race ever since. Which is quite sad when you get to that top level, though, because you have got guys that run for many, many years without winning a race. Yeah. Look at Sergio Perez. Yeah, true. Like, yeah. What was that?
That was me. I was trying to do my own fact checking.
Lining up next week's movie already. Straight off here.
I was gonna start my Vin Diesel movie marathon. I was gonna watch all of Fast and the Furious and then Pitch Black, and then that's the other. I was trying to think what else has Vin Diesel done besides that, and
he did Cars and that, didn't
Galaxy.
He was a voice. He was a tree.
Yeah, he said one word, and supposedly he does it. He dubs his own for different countries.
That's probably his best role.
Yeah, that's one that he had to bring the most character to. Because it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, and you never had your car, Rob.
No.
I hope they go back to just being car races.
Yeah.
So, Dave, what's your predictions for France? Yeah.
I'd Red Bull 1-2, George 3rd.
Okay, because that was going to answer my next question. Does George get higher than Lewis?
Yeah, because Lewis will have a bad weekend because he's sitting out FP1.
Yeah.
Okay, and
until he'll get himself into a funk.
Does Ricciardo get points this weekend?
No, I think they will get smashed this weekend. I think.
You reckon Lando's not getting points either?
I reckon they're going to really struggle here. So watch me be wrong.
So what about where does Lewis finish?
7th.
Ooh.
I would have gone 6th. I think the Ferraris will be ahead of him. I think he'll psych himself out with the FP1 thing.
Either that or he'll crash on the 6th lap.
So for FP1, can you put in anyone you like?
They still have to. I think they have to have a super license to.
Oh no, but as in
do an FP1.
So what Rob was saying, if Jenson Button showed up, he could be like, "Hey boys, I mean, evening lads.
Yeah.
May I
Yeah. Yes,
Well,
you could actually. In the rules now, you have to run 2 FP1 sessions for a young driver.
Yeah, they're not allowed to have had a start in Formula One, so they can't have had a race and then come do a practice.
Oh, Boovy's making a big call that Lewis doesn't finish.
But then what's his name? Who used to race for Williams? He's still.
I think it's 3 starts or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
To still be classified as a young driver.
But Jensen's a technical advisor for Williams, so he probably could just go, "Hey, Latifi, piss off for a couple of hours." I'm going to.
But I think
Bob, would you want to be the guy that turns down Latifi to drive? I wouldn't be that person to ruin the dreams of, as we're calling Mad Gotifi.
I think what they found years ago, though, because Renault, when they were Genie Capital owned them, and they had Pasta in one car who'd paid for the whole season. Yeah. Then Grosjean was in the other car, and they had, I think it was Charles Peake, had paid a lot of money to do FP1 sessions during the year. And they found that because they couldn't take over Pasta's car, he had to take over Grosjean's car, that Grosjean struggled at every round that he missed the FP1 session. So they actually kind of found that you're better off having the proper driver in for all of the practice sessions. So that's probably why they wouldn't put Button in.
Yeah.
I think it would
unless
just be fun
they were really in the shit.
Yeah.
So also, Dave, your other prediction is that Hamilton's not going to be getting a podium or win now that he's got 300 races.
I just think that would be funny.
No, it would be. I'm just looking at CJG's got Sainz and Verstappen.
He's gone for
top 10. That's
10.
That's quite comprehensive.
Yeah.
Who we got? Alonso.
I don't know about Norris being in there.
Yeah, Ricardo will be like 18th.
Yeah, but I think
Ricardo will
think McLaren are going to be like bad this weekend.
Watch McLaren get a 1-2 because of Dave's and his.
Yeah, well, that's exactly, because my predictions are brilliant.
Latifi will have his upgrades this round, so I'll probably put him first.
Every week, Rob, always.
Yeah. He made Q3 in Silverstone, and he didn't even have the upgrades. So
it's
with
like
the upgrades,
pretty much the best driver there is.
He could John Travolta's son, like through the field, just pass everybody in one lap.
Maybe John Travolta will play Latifi in a future F1 movie.
Well,
What Dan to beat Lewis conceded star record.
What's the how far off is he?
Well, he's going to be the same distance as long as Lewis is there.
No, because Lewis missed one. Remember, he got COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did too, didn't he?
Because he's a vegan.
Yeah, but Dan's was in the off. He missed testing.
It was too.
Didn't miss any races.
I'm actually surprised no one else has had it this year. Like I was talking to friends at the start of the year, thinking, wonder how many races are going to be with people missing, and it's been done.
No, go back to Kyle's one. I think that's that's.
Is this the last three spots?
I would love to see Yuki get on the podium, just because I want to know he's a wild card, and I'd love to see what he does. And
I want to see him with the doing shoeies and with the gorilla trophies,
which would be his decisive.
Could you imagine those two with the gorilla trophies?
I just want to see Ricciardo bullying like young F1 drivers to get onto the podium, because you saw like when Hamilton did it, he didn't want to do the shoey. But if Yuki or Albon or any like the Latifi got up there, I reckon they'd be like
multiple shoes off. Yuki would have his shoes off already waiting.
Yeah, he would have his shoe ready to be poured out and just say, please, one shoey for me, please. Oh, another top 10. Yep, Latifi. Yep. Schumacher. Do you reckon Schumacher will get a podium this year?
Not without special circumstances. But the Haas, they have actually been heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
Again.
And he's been quick. He's been quicker than Anderson.
Dave, of the three, Schumacher, Latifi, and Yuki PlayStation, which one of them gets the podium first? Unless one of them's already got one that I've forgotten.
Schumacher, because he's the only one that's going to be around long enough.
I reckon Yuki.
You reckon Yuki's gone?
Oh yeah. The hard thing is though, Red Bull have got to find someone to replace him. But he's not the answer to. He's not going to get promoted to the main team.
No.
So they're not going to promote Gasly.
No.
So they need to put Liam Lawson or Duravala or who else have they got that are
the racist guy? Not the racist.
No, he's gone.
No, well he's
back. He's back.
Well, he's in the Red Bull program, but
he probably
Yuri Vips.
Yeah.
See, he had half a shot because he was already test driving for him.
Yeah. Liam Lawson, I don't know if he's got what it takes. I like the kid. I think he's good. And he did really well in DTM. But open wheelers, he just seems to struggle a little bit. It doesn't help if he loses a wing in every FP2 race. Every F2 race.
I think Jack Doohan's got half, but I think he probably needs another year of F2.
Yeah. He's
From what I haven't been watching it, but from what I've heard, he's been a bit inconsistent.
He's a good qualifier, but a bit average in the race. He's still all right, but but
another year would do him.
Yeah.
Has he got enough for the super duper license yet, or has he already got one?
No. Not yet.
He possibly would by the end of the year, though, because I think it's the top 3 or whatever in
I think you're telling
F2. Like they automatically get enough points.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
unlike IndyCar.
IndyCar and V8 supercar that used to be you just miss out on getting a super license if you won.
But I think supercars gets about a similar amount of points to what IndyCar does. Like it was a bit of a joke how bad the points were for IndyCar.
Yeah.
Considering it probably is the second highest open wheel category in the world.
Yeah. But I think they only give them points if it's on a FIA Grade 1 circuit, which is...
That's part of the problem.
Yeah. COTA and I think the Indianapolis road circuit.
No, that's not anymore.
You sure?
Yeah.
I thought it's still listed as a...
Because the race MotoGP there, but that only needs a grade 2, doesn't it? Yeah. I would have thought since they changed it, it would have lost the grade 1.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have bothered.
There's lots of grade 2s, but only really COTA is only grade 1. Unless they race in Miami, but I can't see that happening. It should. That'd be nice. That'd be a good race, I think.
Yeah, just leave the track up for another week and let IndyCar. Yeah. I think the hard thing there would be, though, because you would potentially see how much better the racing is in IndyCar.
Could you imagine that as a IndyCar as a support race for F1 there?
But Rob, who's going to look after the boats in the dock at Miami? Like that tank's got to get redone at the end of the week when it washes out if it rains there.
I want to see someone dive into it.
Didn't they have one of the reporters pretend to dive into it?
Yeah, and then they got in trouble.
Yeah. What? For making a mockery of the fake water?
Then they put a fence. I think they put security guards so they couldn't walk onto it.
Oh, speaking of security and stuff, Dave, I did see at the end of, was it Silverstone? I don't know if this is tradition everywhere, but the Brits just stealing DRS signs and stealing
everything that wasn't bolted
pretty much
down.
anything that was cable tied down got taken home for the night. I like seeing that. I think more people need to steal bits of signage. There's nothing wrong with stealing.
I think that's like it happens at Bathurst.
Oh, I imagine a lot of things get stolen at Bathurst, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, Bathurst is a good race, but let's be honest, the people going there aren't, I
think it's a lot better these days than what it used to be.
Were you the one telling me they used to dig holes out in the dirt?
I think they potentially still do.
And bury alcohol. I mean, they do this at music festivals as well. They bury alcohol.
Yeah,
and then
because you could only bring in one slab per person per day, which is not nearly enough beer.
If you take your kids, they can take a slab in each then.
Well, I'm sure there was a lot of people who weren't drinking that were bringing in slabs as well. Yeah. And
is
apparently,
it like Rob, where each person gets a liter and you can just
you distribute it.
Well, this is why you drink smart and you buy like 6 to 8% IPAs, so you're getting more alcohol for your buck, really.
So what you're saying is people should drop drinking VBs and Melbourne Bitter.
Yeah, drink an 8% IPA. Get a slab of those. And if you're smart, you get 4 40ml cans too.
Oh, see, I had the old tiny can.
Yeah.
Oh,
get the big one.
And I just have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask, Dave. When the cars smash off, can you take them, or do the F1 quite? I imagine Toto would get angry if you stole a part of his wing. I can see him on race control going, "That is my wing. Please give me back my wing, Max. Give me back my wing."
I think if the wing made it into the crowd,
It's yours?
Yeah, you could write that off like you're not getting that back. But if they do crash, you will see them kind of put the stuff back together, like onto the flatbed and that, and take it back with the car.
If someone
jumping the fence and like stealing a part of the car, but I reckon if it lands in the crowd, you get to keep it.
If someone in the crowd picks it up, do they get a $50,000 fine?
Only if they touch the rear wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's the front wing, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot further down. It's a lot more effort.
Say at Silverstone when Joe crashed and George jumped out to go over. If he picked his wing up to move it out the way, would he get a fine?
Well, technically, yeah. Because was it something to do with Parc Fermé?
Yeah.
Though, when he touched it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think he'd be okay in that situation, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had the same kind of question at where did we go last week? Last time?
Austria,
yeah. Vettel went off. He spun off the track or went off. I think he spun. I'm like, did he get a track limits
violation?
Yeah. Was that a strike because he spun off?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Because the logic seems to go out of some of these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, grade 3.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to race a very fast open wheel around there. IndyCar might be all right there.
Didn't they do an F1 race there years and years ago?
No, Jenson Button
done a demo.
Yeah, Jenson Button.
I think Button would be good at Red Bull from the sounds of his antics. He'd probably take a Red Bull car around any racetrack.
Well, his stories of pretty much finishing a race and then flying to Saint-Tropez and partying until he had to fly to the next race was pretty good. Yeah. He would just rock
that's
up
what you want from an F1 driver. What was the guy from the other movie, Hunt? He sounded like he just he got sober a couple of hours before a race, went for a drive.
Yeah,
and then someone came.
Sitting there on his car with 2 girls around him, smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer.
Yep. And that man won a championship. So
exactly.
Winners use drugs.
There's
Until they get caught, Lance Armstrong.
Yeah. Until they get lung cancer. IndyCar drivers through aggressive. Yeah, that's right. With Vodafone, that's right. I remember now because who was the Vodafone driver, the supercar driver at the time? Was it Lowndes? Yeah.
Because Button drove the V8 supercar as well.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think did Lowndes end up driving the F1 car, or something happened where he didn't end up driving it? I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other race I want back, Dave, the celebrity race. Because
The
that
F1
always has crashes. No, not the F1 one. The at the Melbourne, they used to have the celebrity drivers, and there'd be always one aggressive person that would slam in first corner, just to and they would drive rubbish cars.
Yeah.
Well, it was whoever sponsored.
Yeah.
Provided that basically didn't care if they got 30 cars trashed.
Yeah.
One weekend.
They all got trashed. Even the winner, I think, would just plow through like 5 cars to win. They'd be like,
you usually had like some Olympian or whatever that took it too seriously. Drove off into the distance.
Barina. I would like to see 30 Barinas just smash into turn 1.
Always be some like, was it Grant Denyer or whatever it is?
Grant Denier's an actual race. No.
Well, he's
well, he'd be like at the front, just beating everyone.
You'd have someone like that, but then you'd have like someone like Mick Malloy or someone who was a bit of a dickhead who couldn't drive, but would just like no brakes into turn 1 because I've watched Trading Paint. I can go from last to first in 1 lap.
Yes, because I have to. I can't be lapped because I'll get disqualified because John Travolta told me something.
He could be one of the driving coaches for it.
Yeah. Oh, that's my other question, Dave. How many 2-seater F1 cars do they still have? Because you keep seeing them every so often. Where
I actually saw photos of a Ferrari 3-seater one this week.
Yeah, Leclerc took his girlfriend and mum in a 3-seater.
Okay. Did his girlfriend have to sign up to his Twitch account or whatever to ask for permission to do it?
That's what Mario Andretti still drives the 2-seater IndyCar every race. And he's what, 80 something? 80
Doesn't Andretti Jr. still want his F1 team and no one wants to let him in because he claims there's a European
that's middle Andretti. But
how many Andrettis are there?
70.
Oh, there's like 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the one that wants the F1 team, he's complaining that Michael, we'll call him Mick, old Micko, he wants an F1 team, and he's complaining that they're the European team. But there was also the thing you were saying about this prize money for the first 10 teams. So if he joined, one of the teams will miss out on cash.
Yeah, and I think like Toto and that are a bit like, if we're going to let him in, what are they adding to the sport? Like that's what they're using as an excuse. They want someone to add.
Be asking Toto for questions anymore because Toto just seems to be like a delusional grandpa that just says, "Back in my day, we didn't have fire extinguishers. If you're on fire, you just rolled around and then you put it out. Did I tell you we won 8 constructors championship?"
But only 7 drivers.
Yeah. I don't think Toto should be asked any questions about anything from now on.
Yeah.
I think he's
should be seen and not heard.
Or maybe not even seen. No, I want him to be seen because I want to see his facial expressions every time something happens, and you can tell he's getting on the phone or he's sending an email to race control.
Calling Bose for another pair of headphones.
Would he smash a few every couple of races? I reckon.
I think so. I reckon they have someone on the roster just to replace his headphones.
I would hate to be the IT support guy for him because you can just tell my headphones don't work. That's because one side smashed in. I didn't do this. It wasn't me.
I'm surprised they don't have a camera above him, and every time he smashes one, they have one of the pit crew replace it in like 2 seconds.
He just runs in and. They should do that with all races. I know for some sports events, they keep a camera on just one player Just just to get a. They should just leave a camera on Toto every race. Just have
Maybe
one junior cameraman. Yeah,
maybe these like Toto and Zach Brown and all that. They should have to be part of the pit crew. They have to go ahead and change the tire. Just to spice it up a little.
I think that's a bit unfair on Zach Brown, isn't it?
Yeah. I reckon Toto could probably change a tire pretty well, to be honest.
I was just thinking because it's changed a bit over the last few years. Like Ginger Spice would be pretty fit. You got Seidel and that all look pretty fit. It's not like even 10 years ago where you had.
I reckon Zach Brown and who's that new owner that bought it last year? The older gentleman,
Lawrence.
Lawrence Stroll has changed.
Yeah, but see, it's a bit different though because you've got Mike Crack or whatever running that team.
Yeah.
Not.
What about
if it was actually the team principal or whatever.
What about NASCAR style and they have to carry the jack out there and jack up each side of the car?
Yeah. That was I have seen a few people saying that, F1 pit stops are ridiculous, blah, blah. Yeah. We can cut costs by having one person change a tyre and all that kind of stuff. But it is a spectacle to see.
Yeah.
Like it is ridiculous that, Red Bull last year were doing them in like 1.9 seconds or whatever.
Well, there's that one where they did the fastest one, Dave, and you have to watch it like 8 times because you've got to watch the guy take off the wheel and in the same motion, someone's put the wheel back on. And by the time that wheel's on, the guy who took off the wheel has now thrown that wheel away and he's got the jack ready to put the wheel on. But there's 4 of them that do that. So you've got to watch it 4 times to see each one of them do it exactly the same. And then there's the guy in front.
The ridiculous thing is like it might be like a 5-second pit stop and you watch it and you're like, oh my God, that is so slow.
No.
And when you actually think it, that's ridiculous how quick that is.
Yeah.
Even like when they have a problem, you're still talking like 5 seconds for a stop.
So I like NASCAR when like before this year when they were still using five stud wheels. Like how quick they could get 5 wheel nuts off and on.
Oh, it's
yeah. I'm actually disappointed.
But even like it does take away a bit of that. But they're very limited on the fuel delivery, aren't they? Like the supercars.
Yeah. But yeah, they still can only change 2 tires at a time. So they jack up one side, change. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they don't lift it up and just go.
No, they don't have air jacks like the supercars. They run more like a street jack kind of thing that you have in your garage, don't they?
It's like one pull it down once and it lifts up the car.
Yeah.
They're nuts.
But it's still more a traditional kind of jack.
Yeah. But it's entertaining to watch and it makes
it is a spectacle.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably some other places where you can reduce some spending rather than taking away pit crew.
Toto's headphone budget. And
I do wonder how that it does affect their budget for the year. Because those headphones wouldn't be cheap for starters.
No.
And then he smashes through a few.
Do people try to keep them? Because I know that in Premier League, a Premier League coach smashed his glasses and someone found them and sold them on eBay.
If it was Formula E, they'd be recycling those old headphones into car parts.
Yeah, that'd turn into a wing, wouldn't it? Just,
yeah.
Let's not get into Formula E and saving the world. With diesel generators to charge your cars and things like that. Do they still do that?
I don't.
Or was that Extreme E?
I thought that was Tesla. They're doing that at the charging stations that had diesel generators.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So have we covered off everything for this week?
I think we brought it back, Dave. We crashed early on.
Yeah.
We got out of the gravel trap and then kept going and finished strong.
Yeah.
I still don't know who we're going to replace Palou with at Ganassi, but
Maybe they wouldn't put a rookie in there, would they?
Well, I'm wondering if they try and get, say, like what they used to do, like back in the late 90s and where they got Montoya in.
Yeah.
If they went for, I mean, I'm just trying to think, but, you know, say like a Piastri.
Yeah.
Which Piastri's too good. He needs to be in Formula One. But
yeah,
someone along those lines.
What about one of the rookies who are in now, like Malukas or Ilott? Or
Ilott would be an interesting choice, I think.
Yeah.
I think Malukas is probably a little bit tied up with the whole Dale Coyne with HMD and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Ilott's
Ilott's doing a pretty good job considering what that team is.
Yeah.
The single car first season, essentially. That's I don't think we'll see Alonso in IndyCar.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. I like listening to when they talk to Ilott, interviewing him. He's just so down to earth.
Straight down the line. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no bullshit with him or anything.
I don't know. I hope he does well. But I want to hear him talk more like that. Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't Alonso need to win the Indy 500 to get his Triple Crown?
I think he got back into Formula One, so he kind of gave up on the Triple Crown thing. I think the Triple Crown was a bit of I haven't got a Formula One drive, so I'm going to pretend that I don't care and I'm doing this instead. And now that he's in Formula One, it's like, what Triple Crown?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well,
that ties us up for this week. Enjoy the 2 races from Iowa and the Gorilla Grand Prix.
Oh, Gorilla Grand Prix. Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be a big
we'll see you next week.
See you later.
See you all.